season.
On this, let's bring in NBC meteorologist Angie Lappin. Hey, Angie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Morgan makes a good point. It's been an active start to the year. We've seen already record-breaking numbers when it comes to tornadoes for January, and we're going to likely add to that total today with another chance to see some of these tornadoes developing along this strong line of storms. We already have a tornado watch in effect for parts of Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, and stretching a little farther to the east. We're going to be watching for this to likely be in effect at least through the early morning hours, and then the threat shifts a little farther to the east. So you still notice 32 million people are at risk for some of these stronger storms through the day today. That means wind gusts over 75 miles per hour. We could see a couple more tornadoes, a few of them being strong, and not to mention hail. And on top of that, stretching into parts of the Midwest and down towards the south, we have the flood concern that we're going to watch for today with the risk of flash flooding. We will likely see some heavy rain working through, causing some problems here over the next couple of days, guys.
Okay, Angie, we'll check in with you in a bit. Thank you. 1 month since the disastrous train derailment and chemical spill in East Palestine, Ohio, residents of the small town still maintain they are being left in the dark when it comes to getting answers from the government about potential health concerns. For more, we go to NBC's Bree Jackson in Washington. And Bree, good morning. What's the latest on the situation?
Good morning, Francis. Yeah, the town of East Palestine has become a flashpoint for politicians in the month since the derailment, receiving visits from Biden administration officials as well as former President Trump. But members of the town still have lingering questions about whether it's safe to return to their homes or even drink their water. FEMA and local lawmakers held a town hall last night and heard from frustrated residents.
I want you to tell me why everybody in my community is getting sick.
I want the same answers.
Why am I sitting here? Well, then let's get them.
We are sorry. We're very sorry for that. We feel horrible about it. So,
That since the fire was extinguished on February 8th, EPA monitors have not detected any volatile organic compounds above levels of health concern in the community.
The EPA also said that they are ordering rail company Norfolk Southern to begin sampling for toxic chemical compounds that can last in the environment for long periods. President Biden, meanwhile, is answering calls to visit the beleaguered town.
I've spoken with every official in Ohio, Democrat and Republican, on a continuous basis, as in Pennsylvania. I laid out a little bit in there what I think the answers are. We put it together, and we will be implementing an awful lot into the legislation here, and I will be implementing something.
And we'll see what further relief the federal government is able to provide as we move into the second month of this crisis.
And for now, waiting for that date to firm up of when that visit will be. Bree, thank you.
The Justice Department on Thursday said that former President Trump is able to be sued over the events of January 6th. Attorneys for the DOJ said in a court filing that Mr. Trump does not have absolute immunity from lawsuits filed by police officers and members of Congress in connection with the events from that day. The brief stopped short of saying that the former president is liable for causing the riot. Mr. Trump faces lawsuits over the events of January 6th from 2 Capitol police officers as well as multiple members of Congress. Trump's lawyers argue that he was acting within the bounds of his official duties and had no intention to spark violence.
The House Ethics Committee is opening an investigation into embattled Congressman George Santos. Among other things, a subcommittee will determine if the New York Republican engaged in unlawful activity in his congressional campaign, violated conflict of interest laws, and engaged in sexual misconduct. His office tweeted that he is, quote, fully cooperating with the investigation.
Rapper Travis Scott is expected to turn himself in for questioning next week. NYPD sources told our New York station that could come as early as Tuesday. Scott is accused of assaulting a sound engineer and damaging $12,000 worth of equipment at a New York City nightclub. Though no charges have been filed and Scott has not been named as a suspect. In a statement, his team told WNBC that Scott is already working with law enforcement to resolve and get to the truth.
Now to a miraculous rescue in Turkey over 3 weeks after a deadly earthquake rocked the country. Turkey's state-run news agency said a dog named Alex was stuck under the rubble for 23 days before rescuers got to him. A concerned citizen heard noises from under the collapsed building, and there they found Alex. The agency says Alex lost weight but is in good condition. Over 49,000 people died in the earthquake in Turkey and Syria.
I mean, that is truly
That
miraculous.
like that he's still aware and awake and not unconscious as you'd think he'd be after all that time.
What a lucky pup. All right, let's check back in with Angie. She's been tracking some of this wicked weather for quite a while now. Hello again, Angie.
Yeah, this coast-to-coast storm is not done with us just yet. It continues to impact parts of the southeast here through the day today and makes way into parts of the Midwest and the Northeast, where it will bring a wintry mix, making for some slick conditions and some added snow for parts of New England. We'll talk about those totals here in a moment. First, let's deal with the rain. There's a chance that we could see some flooding concerns, especially focused in places like Cincinnati to St. Louis. That's where we'll have the best chance to see some of that additional and excessive rainfall. Ice accumulations are possible up to 1/10 of an inch or even higher in parts of New England, and we also will see some of those higher elevations pick up on some impressive snow. That's a look at the weather across the country. Let's take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood. Temperatures range from the low 70s to the upper 70s from Jackson to New Orleans. We'll watch for some strong storms through that area through the day today. Meanwhile, in the Northeast, a few snow showers working in and some rain for Louisville. A busy couple of days ahead of us, guys, but we're so close to the weekend, so we'll talk about what's happening for your weekend forecast coming up.
We need to know to make our plans. Thank you, Angie. Now, at Paris Fashion Week, where there was a colorful magic, a Japanese fashion brand called Unreal Age debuted these all-white outfits, but here's the thing. They transform under the UV light, as you see, revealing different colors and different patterns. This designer is known for combining art with technology and says these clothes also react to the UV and sunlight. It also looks different depending on the weather conditions.
Pretty cool. All right, we're back in just 1 minute as the governor of Tennessee has officially made it the first state to ban some drag shows.
And later, Matthew McConaughey and wife Camilla relived the terrifying turbulence on their Lufthansa flight.
I used to pre-rinse dishes because my old detergent didn't actually get them clean. But new Caffeine Platinum Plus has me doing dishes.
Storytime hours for children. Violators could face up to 6 years in prison.
One of the largest pharmaceutical chains, Walgreens, says it won't dispense abortion pills by mail in 20 Republican-led states. The move comes after attorneys general in those states warned the chain that it would violate their abortion law. So far, 19 states have placed restrictions on abortion pills. Walgreens tells Politico it's not distributing the pills anywhere yet, but it is working on obtaining certifications to do so.
We're learning new details this morning about some scares in the sky. 10 people were treated at local hospitals after a battery likely caused a fire on a Spirit Airlines flight. A retired firefighter put out the flames before the plane made an emergency landing in Florida.
And we've learned that Matthew McConaughey and his wife Camilla were on board that Lufthansa flight to Germany that hit a pocket of major turbulence, forcing it to land in the D.C. area. The couple made it on to a rebooked flight last night, but they say that the travel woes were not over.
Just got on the rescheduled flight, and pilot saying we have 45-minute turbulence getting out of Washington. Just my luck.
The FAA says it's investigating that flight that originated in McConaughey's home city of Austin, Texas, and left 7 people injured.
Still to come, no need to binge this year's Best in Film before the Oscars. We've got the deal for you next.
And the smart car could be getting smarter. Ford's plan for self-repoing software.
Ever notice how stiff clothes can feel rough on your skin? For softer clothes that are gentle on your skin, try Downy Free and Gentle. Downy will soften your clothes without dyes or perfumes. The towel wash for Downy is softer and gentler on your skin. Try Downy Free and Gentle.
Lactate is 100% real milk, just without the lactose. Tastes great in our iced coffees, too, which makes waking up at 5 a.m. to milk the cows a little easier.
Mabel says for you, it's more like 5:15.
Mom, really?
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 selling nerve care company. Nervive contains alpha-lipoic acid to relieve occasional nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort. Try Nervive Nerve Relief.
You know why people are always looking at their phones? They're banking with Bank of America. See cousin Jimmy over there? His girlfriend just got the bouquet, so he might need a little more help saving for that engagement ring. The groom's parents? You think they're looking at photos of their handsome boy. They're not.
She just saw how much they spent on ballroom dance classes. Won't be needing those anymore.
Digital tools so impressive, you just can't stop banking. What would you like the power to do?
I've been telling everyone, the secret to great teeth is having healthy gums.
Crest Advanced Gum Restore detoxifies below the gum line and restores by helping heal gum.
Accent, but we can all watch and hear him with it again on the big screen. Elvis and all of the other Best Picture Oscar nominees will be back in theaters starting today. Regal Cinemas is offering $6 showings of all 10 films on a rotating schedule until the Academy Awards on March 12th.
It's a great idea. A new Ford patent suggests that automation is coming for the repo man. But first, some bad news for prospective home buyers. CNBC's Karen Cho has the details for us from London. Good morning, Karen.
Go anywhere, do anything in the wildly capable, electrified Jeep Grand Cherokee.
And then it just got contagious. Oh my goodness, calm down, calm down.
Now, 2 years later, he meets 3 days a week with kindergarteners, first and second graders, one-on-one for hours at a time in a corner of the school. They call his reading program Mr. Herman's Kids. And there is a line out the door. Mr. Herman is a legend.
When Mr. Herman comes to my class,
No, no, no. I don't want you to give me what's inside of your piggy bank. I want to see you give God what's inside of you and allow Him to change you into a new creation in Christ. Every Sunday morning here on WTVA at 8, I will bring you a message about the awesome power of change on the Words of Life broadcast. Don't change that channel. Accept my challenge and allow God to change you.
ABC WTVA, Tupelo, Columbus.
Right now in America this morning, guilty on all counts. What's next for the once prominent South Carolina attorney and now convicted murderer Alec Murdaugh? One of the jurors explains how they reached the verdict so quickly.
Video coming in showing the damage from reported tornadoes hitting the South overnight. Significant snow set to hit the Midwest this morning, and in the West, growing desperation to get food and medicine after 7 feet of snow leaves roads impassable.
Outrage in Ohio.
People that have symptoms, they shouldn't be dismissed.
What residents are now demanding after that toxic train derailment 1 month ago, and what the rail company has now agreed to do.
Overseas, hundreds of schoolgirls are apparently poisoned by gas, what U.S. officials are saying.
A honeymoon nightmare. The couple who says they were abandoned at sea during a snorkeling tour.
And later, a special play. For the win! Leads to a special moment in college basketball, a hug for mom in the stands.
From ABC News in New York, this is America This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea from GE.
And I'm Lionel Moise. Andrew and Rhiannon are off. We begin this morning with the verdict in the Alec Murdaugh trial, guilty on all counts in the killing of his wife and son.
The disgraced former attorney from a powerful South Carolina family will be sentenced this morning and may face life in prison. Prosecutors said Murdaugh's motive was to cover up his financial crimes and gain sympathy. But this morning, many legal experts are surprised just how quickly the jury reached its decision.
This morning, Alec Murdaugh is headed to prison.
Guilty verdict. Guilty, guilty, guilty.
A South Carolina jury convicting the disgraced attorney of murdering his wife Maggie and son Paul.
It doesn't matter who your family is. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how prominent you are. If you do wrong, if you break the law, if you murder, then justice will be done in South Carolina.
Murdaugh appearing emotionless as the unanimous verdict was read. His surviving son Buster, who testified in support of his father, covering his face. The 7 men and 5 women on the jury taking less than 3 hours to reach the verdict after listening to 24 days of testimony, including from Murdaugh himself.
You take this gun or any gun like it and blow your son's brains out on June 7th or any day or any time.
No, I did not.
Murdaugh emotional at times.
I was trying to tend to Paul. I was trying to tend to Maggie.
And apologetic for defrauding his clients and partners.
I can say I did wrong. I stole money that wasn't mine, and I shouldn't have done it.
In their closing argument, the defense asked jurors not to focus on Murdaugh's other alleged crimes.
The state and the
Under the weight of the snow piled several feet high.
The family of Goodwins is the heart of this community. The fact, I mean, I'm tearing up now. It's sad.
Tracelyn Sherritt says someone in her
With the answers they're getting about the illnesses they've experienced since the crash. ABC's Derek Dennis has more.
In East Palestine, Ohio,
we're all scared.
Neighbors not holding back, confronting Norfolk Southern representatives over the toxic train derailment that upended their lives.
My grandchildren, my children, wow. It's not safe. We're sick. If this happened in your Richard neighborhood, would it have been cleaned up a lot faster?
People that have symptoms, they shouldn't be dismissed.
Good morning. A major winter storm is going to give us major travel headaches through today and tonight.
And teams. The day before his return, Carter was arrested on misdemeanor charges of reckless driving and racing in connection with a deadly crash in January. The crash was the night of the Georgia football team's parade after winning the national championship. Shortly after Carter's SUV sped out of this camera's view, the other SUV crashed, killing the driver, Chandler LaCroix, a recruiter for the team. Toxicology reports show her blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. Also killed, LaCroix's passenger and Carter's teammate, Devin Willock.
That's 2 lives.
Discover the Ozempic.
Back now with a closer look at the verdict in the Alec Murdaugh trial. The jury taking less than 3 hours to find him guilty on all counts. So where did the defense go wrong?
And what evidence was most convincing to the jury? I spoke earlier with legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer. Brian Buckmeyer, thank you so much for joining us.
President Biden.
Once I understood the ramifications of the tentacles of valor that the medal itself possessed, I was just honored that I was going to be awarded the Medal of Honor.
Congratulations to Colonel Davis. What a
Drown again. Then make sure the fire.
Crosswhite. It's another stormy day in our area. Let's check in and start the show off with meteorologist Briley Brown. And Briley, I know a lot of people schools could be funded for only the 3rd time since it became part of state law 25 years ago. Courtney Ann Jackson spoke with state leaders about wanting to change the trend.
Goal is to fully fund MAEP this year.
I get it. You're not all into politics, and maybe you're saying, what the heck is MAEP? It stands for the Mississippi Adequate Education.
Make sure we come forward with a formula that's equitable for all, but is updated to meet the current existing state of our economy and so forth.
The Senate hasn't revealed exactly what those changes will include, but
just hang close with me. As we did the teacher pay raise, we've been helping schools. Obviously, the next step is to get MAEP towards
their animal locked inside. Hundreds of high school students were on the MUW campus to explore a career in nursing. Desmond Matthews. Dr. Ruffin says they plan to have an open house for more prospective students on March 24th.
Dreams began as a teen, arriving in Nashville with his dad in his pickup truck.
So, I mean, this is the truck
Yes.
that you held on to.
Yes.
When we interviewed Bentley back in 2014, his father had just died. and he gave us a ride in that truck down past the Ryman.
And so like at 2 o'clock in the morning, I walked down this little alleyway here and just rubbed my hands along these stone bricks of the Ryman.
Would you really?
Several rewrites to make.
My heart beats in Tennessee, but my
hitting Mackenzie McGurk on the backdoor cut. Warriors up 7-2. They lead by as many as 10 in the first, but Miss Basketball had something to say about that. Second quarter, 3 off the mark, but Houston out muscling everyone on board, getting the bucket and the foul. Warriors lead is now just 4 points. Fourth quarter, Wildcats still have yet to lead. Houston from 3. She's got it. Louisville gets its first lead, 30-27. A couple minutes later, Cats still up 3. Lane pulling up from deep. It's good. Tie game at 32. Can't get much better than that. Well, it does. That's a spoiler. Louisville down 2 with 2 to play. Houston again, big time and 1 to take a 35-34 lead. 20 seconds left. Louisville leads 37-36. Pontotoc needs a bucket, but Houston with the big time block into the first row. The Warriors last second heave with 2 seconds left, way short. So it's Louisville getting the come from behind win, 37-36. They are your 4A girls state champions. Mitchell McCurry gets his first state title as head coach. And you guessed it, Jacqueline Houston, who is in every highlight of this highlight, is the MVP. All right, let's take a look at the games we have for you today. And tonight, Ole Miss women's hoops facing Texas A&M at 2 in the SEC tournament. The 13th-seeded Aggies upset 5-seed MSU yesterday. And if the Rebs win, they'll face either 8-seed Arkansas or number 1 South Carolina, who's undefeated on the year. Ole Miss baseball facing Maryland again, this time in Minneapolis at 3. Mississippi State will face Ohio State in Dexterous pitcher Gerangelo Sanja getting the all those highlights for you this evening. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's what we did.
Remarkably preserved condition. Researchers used cutting-edge technology to locate the 191-foot Ironton, which collided with another vessel in 1894, sinking both ships and leaving only
An opening celebration event at our new Ashley Inn on
Justice at the number on your screen or visit abusejustice.com now for a free confidential consultation.
Get the look you want the way. Threatening dangers to people and pets.
So it's important to know what you can do to prevent any damage they might create. We have live team coverage this morning. WTV's Michelle Martin and Avery Hilliard are live right now tracking the weather conditions. They're joining us live from Tupelo right now. Michelle, what does it feel like? What do you see out there?
Good morning, Daniela and Bronson. As you just said, I am live from right outside the Natchez Trace headquarters. Right now, it seems pretty calm and emphasis on the seams. Every now and then we get a little drizzle, as it's drizzling right now. I don't know if you can see it a little bit. Your hand. if you're driving during high winds,
down in part of the area Thursday. Some video shows down trees and in the inside of this home here after the destructive storm.
Check out this video out of Brock, Texas. The winds were so strong in this part of the area that it sent a piece of metal siding flying through the area.
And happening now, many folks across Texas and Louisiana waking up without power this morning after the severe storms. Something folks in our area could experience later this morning. Right now at 5:06, we're going to give you a live look at the power outage map in the state of Texas. You can see in the entire state, just over 105,000, actually, just under 106,000 customers without power this morning. Quite a few. Then if you go over and look at the map for Louisiana, you can see across the state, just over 8,100 reported without power right now. So again, Louisiana also reporting some of those outages. Be sure and stay with us as we keep an eye.
At 5:06 this morning, we have an update on a developing story out of Tupelo. A judge made a decision on a Tupelo youth pastor's bond.
And new this morning, the state legislature made a decision on a bill that would ban Zaza in the state. How this could affect you is coming up.
And while those storms and showers are still back out towards our west, when will they be moving into the area? I'll give you some times for some of your locations right after the break.
American made means more than just being made in America. It means representing the values that our country is founded on. Hard work, independent spirit, revolutionary thinking, breaking a few rules, and doing it all for the right reasons. American made bad boy mowers. Mow with an attitude.
Well, it's the season. We got the playoffs. We got basketball season. We got March Madness coming up. And your recliner might be a little worn out looking. You need to come to LQ Furniture. While supplies last on these, we got a variety of colors. For $275, you get it. That's right, a $499 chair for $275 at LQ Furniture. So if you're looking for a recliner, run down to LQ this weekend. Save some money.
Okay, everybody, let's take 10. Hey, Jerry and Darcy, come check this out. I'm on with my honey. Want to say hi?
Oh, it's actually Honey. You know who adores Honey? Darcy.
Huge honey fan. Show me what you got.
In the Court of General
Guilty. That's what it.
After the passage of the bill banning Zaza in the state. Chief Joseph Daughtry led this effort, contacting every convenience store in Columbus concerning the new prohibition of the drug. They handed out informational flyers to the stores. The Columbus City Council passed an emergency measure outlawing the product last week. Looking ahead, electric car manufacturers could face some big restrictions in the future. State lawmakers gave the final approval to a bill that would restrict electric car manufacturers from opening new brick-and-mortar car dealerships. The legislation introduced in the House by Representative Trey Lamar of Senatobia now heads over to Governor Reeves for his signature. The bill does not restrict the direct sale of electric cars, as people can buy them online, but if they want to buy an electric car in person, they would have to drive to the state's only Tesla store in Pearl. That store will be allowed to stay open under the proposed new law. Tesla or any other electric car company could not open a new brick-and-mortar location to sell cars unless they enter a franchise agreement.
If you keep an eye on your water bill, you wouldn't notice when it's unusually high. But how would you respond if you got one and it was in the thousands? WTVA's Ethan Foster talked to a man in Guntown who experienced this.
Mr. Joe Lucas got an unexpected surprise for his Thursday morning when he got this water bill for over $11,000.
What was your reaction when you first saw that $11,000 number right there?
I was glad it was raining because I needed it to cool off after I started reading the numbers that were on the bill.
The total bill was $11,023.27. Mr. Lucas is retired and has lived in Guntown with his wife for just over 30 years. He knew that number was wrong because he usually pays around $30 to $50 a month. But this bill error also said that he had used over 800,000 gallons of water. You must have like an Olympic-sized swimming pool you haven't showed me.
I wish I did.
For reference, Olympic swimming pools can hold 500,000 gallons. And the cost of that bill alone could cover a lot of things, even maybe a new mode of transportation.
I mean, $11,000 water bill. My goodness, I could buy a car.
Yeah, absolutely. I did talk to the mayor of Guntown, and he said that this water bill, the number was just way too high. There was an issue with the water meter. The city is going to get that fixed for Mr. Joe Lucas, and he will not have to pay for that $11,000 price tag. Reporting in Guntown, Ethan Foster for WTVA 9 News.
Mr. Lucas, you probably get this a lot, but boy, do you look like Terry Bradshaw. Happening now, one Mississippi U.S. Senator is wanting to keep biological men from competing in women's sports. This morning, you have to hear what.
I don't know if you could hear it, but she said, my aunt looks, the dead one up there who was telling people in her mind that she couldn't breathe before she died. She looks like Shavo to this girl.
Bill she is pushing for right now.
Portions of this program
not to me, whose job it was to take care of her. She just looked like I understand. I don't even know Terry Shavo. She just looked like I understand to me.
Murder and the shooting deaths of his wife and son. The jurors deliberated for less than 3 hours before they reached a verdict. The trial lasted for 6 weeks. The disbarred attorney was convicted of murdering his 52-year-old wife, Maggie, and 22-year-old son, Paul. The two were shot to death.
Hey, look like, meet Lincoln Law. Lincoln Law, this is look like.
The Murdaugh estate in June of 2021. The defense attorney was denied his request for a mistrial. The judge said sentencing would take place at 9:30 this morning.
Looking ahead, public drag show performances will soon face some big restrictions in Tennessee. Republican Tennessee Governor Bill Lee recently signed a bill into law restricting public drag show performances, making his state the first to do so this year. The bill goes into effect July 1st. It's being called a ban on public drag performances in public areas where minors could see.
Happening now, Mississippi U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith is pushing schools and universities to stop allowing biological men to compete in women's sports. The Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act was reintroduced Wednesday. Senator Hyde-Smith says it's an effort to protect fair and safe competition in women's sports. She says the Biden administration has pursued a radical drive to redefine gender. He already pled guilty to state charges in the largest welfare fraud scandal in the state.
Now he's pleading guilty to federal charges as well.
And happening now, one Mississippi university is hoping to inspire more students to go into the nursing field. What it did to attract more future nurses is coming up. And as you're heading out for your morning in South Haven, we're definitely seeing some soggier road conditions. A little bit of a break in the rain right now, but we'll be seeing some storms roll in the next 30 minutes to an hour, and then they're going to be making its way closer to us. But what kind of severe weather could we see throughout the rest of your Friday?
Back for another flying fish sandwich?
And a ship tack box. Let us do the fishing while y'all enjoy seafood that you'll love. Get them before they're gone.
WTVA 9 News at 6:30 p.m. exclusively on ABC WTVA, covering important news where you live. Live coverage of local news. Join me, Alyssa Martin, with meteorologist John DeLusick and the WTVA 9 News Severe Weather Authority, keeping you and your family safe. Every day, depend on WTVA 9 News at 6:30 p.m. Live, local, late breaking.
Hey guys, Jerry Estridge with Mattress Gallery. Major brands, factory direct pricing. And remember, buy your furniture from the furniture store, but buy your mattress from the Mattress Gallery.
Are you unable to work full-time because of illness, accident, or disability? Did you know that Social Security Disability Insurance can give you up to just over $3,000 per month in benefits? Call now. You may be entitled to Social Security benefits. We handle all the filing for you. We've helped thousands with Social Security disability claims, and we can help you today. The best part is, you don't pay until you receive benefits. Call now to see if you qualify for pre-approval today.
It's 5 a.m. and you've tried every pillow trick you know. Yet, you still wake up with crippling pain and zombie brain. It's time to break your sleepless cycle with Nuzzle, the NASA-inspired pillow that provides zero-gravity support. The secret is thousands of nanocoil fibers. Each one pushes against gravity to gently support your neck and cradle your head for a feeling of plush weightlessness. Plus, Nuzzle is the world's first pillow that has 2 adjustable inner layers that adapt to how you like to sleep.
It is so super soft and supportive to my neck and back.
And here's the coolest thing about Nuzzle. It's made from NASA-inspired phase change fabric. When you get hot, Nuzzle automatically responds by cooling itself off. You can get your Nuzzle pillow for just $99.99. But wait, when you use the code on your screen, we'll give you an instant 50% discount. That's just $49.99. Call or log on at trynuzzle.com.
Good morning.
Rise and shine.
Weekdays at 11.
Keeping you and your family safe. WTVA 9 News at 4 p.m. Always watching, always checking. WTVA 9 News begins with the Severe Weather Authority.
Good morning. Severe weather is expected to head our way early this morning. We have live team coverage.
WTVA's Michelle Martin and Avery Hilliard are out in the field right now, starting off in Lee County and tracking these weather conditions. But first, Chelsea Simmons has been watching and tracking our forecast for a while. And Chelsea, how is this all impacting travel right now?
Well, we are seeing some slick road conditions up towards the north and west Delta area, up in parts of Arkansas. Memphis, if you're having to head out, they're kind of seeing some storms right now. For us here at home, we're fairly calm. Breezy conditions, but we're not seeing any of those super high wind gusts that we could see later today. So as you're heading out right now, seeing fairly calm conditions. That rain moves in 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then getting out of here around 9:30, 10 o'clock for most of us. We are going to continue to track out a lot more of that rainfall that is going to be pushing in later. You can see most of it pushed back into parts of Arkansas, Louisiana. A few showers possible right now, so maybe some slick spots down towards really just south of Macon, Aliceville. Seeing a little bit more of that rainfall, but as those storms push in, looking at storm rotation and if we actually have any of that with some of those storms. We're getting closer towards 6:30, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Still not seeing any of those bright reds for us. Now you can see some back out towards the west. So maybe if those stronger storms hold together, maybe moving into our western counties. But not seeing a lot of that as that tracks through our area, maybe through those north and eastern counties as it's on the way out, trying to rotate some, but most of it with any kind of rotation during those storms, it's going to be outside of our area. We still have some flash flood watches in effect through the northern half. Yesterday, after that rainfall, some places picked up close to 6 inches of rain. So just be aware of some places still could see some isolated flooding locations.
Thanks, Chelsea. We are expecting that severe weather any moment, and with that comes powerful winds, which we're already hearing over our studio.
We are currently under a high wind warning. WTVA's Michelle Martin and Avery Hilliard are out in the field this morning with our team coverage. Avery joining us right now. Avery, what can folks do to prepare this morning?
Yeah, Bronson, good morning. Right now, I am live at the Natchez Trace Visitor Center here in Tupelo. And you can't really see behind me, but if you're waking up early this morning to walk your dog or get in a run, you're going to want to be cautious if you're by trees or any tree limbs. Now, with heavy winds headed this way, the winds can impact a lot. Gusty winds can be blown over unsecured objects. The tree limbs could be blown over. Power outages can happen as well. Now, you're going to want to prepare by avoiding forested areas. If you can remain on the lower levels of your home, if you're still at home, please do that and avoid windows. And when you're driving, please drive with caution and make sure you're a car length behind other cars. And if you're by trucks or semis, you're going to want to stay your distance from them because they can add extra wind to that. Now, high winds are serious, and we want you all to be safe when you're going out today. Right now it's a little windy, breezy, it's cool. We see a few raindrops out here, but it hasn't started to rain really hard just yet. But you do want to take a light jacket, possibly a raincoat, and have your umbrella for just in case. But when you're out, just be cautious and aware of your surroundings and stay with WTVA 9 News to stay up to date with your warnings, advisories, and more. Live in Tupelo, Avery Hilliard, WTVA 9 News.
All right, thank you, Avery. Happening now. If you live in Itawamba County, you'll want to hear this. The Northeast Itawamba Water Association says a line broke because of the excessive rainfall or a lightning strike last night. In the field this morning with our team coverage. Avery joining us right now. Avery, what can folks do to prepare this morning?
Yeah, Bronson, good morning. Right now, I am live at the Natchez Trace Visitor Center here in Tupelo. And you can't really see behind me, but if you're waking up early this morning to walk your dog or get in a run, you're going to want to be cautious if you're by trees or any tree limbs. Now, with heavy winds headed this way, the winds can impact a lot. Gusty winds can be blown over unsecured
years in federal prison and a $250,000 fine for conspiracy to defraud the federal government. He pleaded guilty to a state charge in the case in December 2020 and is waiting for sentencing for that plea. District Attorney Jody Owen says DiBiase is cooperating with state and federal authorities investigating others in Mississippi's largest ever public corruption case.
This morning, a Hamilton man is facing charges after a drug bust at his home. Deputies carried out a search warrant at Marty Sims's home on Wednesday. They've charged him with possession of crack cocaine, hydrocodone, oxycodone, and ecstasy. They also charged him with having a firearm as a convicted felon. You can see here all the drugs and the money that were found during this investigation, as well as weapons and $5,500 in gas. Deputies say the weapons add tougher penalties on all of the drug charges.
Also new this morning, Oxford police arrested a woman after a disturbance that they led to a child getting hurt. Officers arrested this woman, Jennifer Gray Jones, that investigation and charged her with deprivation of necessities sustaining to harm. They will contact Child Protective Services.
Now, we are still seeing a nursing shortage across the country. One local university is hoping to help with that.
And as you're heading out for your morning, as those storms continue to approach, what are those impacts that we could be seeing, and what is the timing of some of those storms as they move in?
They just ripped the VPN out of the wall.
Were you trying to rip me off? These are the stories that impact your life.
Weekdays at 2:30 on WTVA. If something happened to you, what would happen to them? Their home, their education, their future. You need life insurance. And chances are SelectQuote can help you get it for less than $1 a day.
SelectQuote found Jacob 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
Our secret? At SelectQuote, we aggressively comparison shop up to 10 highly rated companies to find you the company with the best rates.
We found Gary, 35, a $1 million policy for only $22 a month.
Why pay more? Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
Call 1-800-998-6705 or go to selectquote.com now to get the insurance your family needs.
At a price you can afford.
Field. It gave hundreds of local high school students a look at the several fields within the medical profession. Over 150 students from local high schools participated in interactive stations to get a feeling of being a nurse. Students rotated stations throughout the afternoon, including CPR, giving them full feel of different medical professions.
As you're heading outside in Columbus right now, we are tracking up fairly calm conditions, but right after the break, I'll give you another look at the severe weather authority forecast.
Spreading the book to all fourth graders in the state. First Lady Reese says already she's given out 17,000 books.
Kids all across the country celebrated Dr. Seuss's birthday recently. Here are some kids at Aberdeen Elementary School. Students got to read to one another. They were also visited by a special friend, Conga the dog. The author, famous for his books How the Grinch Stole Christmas and Cat in the Hat, would have been 119 years old.
Happening today, you can get some much needed help restocking your cabinets. Red Oak Missionary Baptist Church in Tupelo is giving away food for the first time this year. If you are in need of food, listen up, you can stop by the church on South Veterans Boulevard today. Pastor Jeffrey Gladney says they will start giving out food beginning at 10 o'clock until the food runs out.
Happening now, you can see where you can get your pets drawn. Take a look. You can also help out the Tupelo Leaf Humane Society as you do this. You don't have much time left to do it, though. The shelter, along with Rankin Elementary School's 3rd through 5th grade gifted classes, are hosting a poorly drawn pet portraits fundraiser. Grade students will draw a picture of your pet for any donation you choose to give to the Humane Society. They're asking you to not submit a photo with more than 2 pets in it, though. But the number of portraits you can have drawn is unlimited. Ending the fundraiser this Friday today, since we'll go on spring vacation March 10th. You can donate at the Humane Society's Facebook page, then leave your pet's picture in the comments. They say they will put your portrait there when it's done.
We're one day away before Tupelo Comic Con kicks off. The action is happening this weekend, March 4th and 5th at the Tupelo Furniture Market. On Saturday, it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and on Sunday, it will start at noon. A VIP wrestling championship will happen right after that.
And new this morning is something that many folks are happy to hear. One of the biggest insulin manufacturers is cutting the out-of-pocket costs. How this will affect you and your family is coming up.
Get the look you want the way you want it at a price you'll love at Room to Room. Select from hundreds of fabrics from quality brands. Choose additional customization options and mix in unique one-of-a-kind pieces we hand select. The possibilities are endless only at Room to Room.
Every day you can depend on WTV.
Hi, I'm the dog. She's the whistle.
Depend on WTVA 9 News at 5 and 6. Late break.
Back for another flat of your sandwich?
And shit tackle us. Let us do the fishing way. I'll enjoy seafood that you'll love. Get them before they're gone.
Medical Minute, sponsored by the Chiropractic Physician Center of Tupelo.
Hi, this is Dr. Andy Harlow with the Chiropractic Physician Center of Tupelo and author of these 2 #1 best-selling books on Amazon. If you're suffering from chronic health problems, please call the number below.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention, survivors of sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is a pattern of behavior that may simply begin with non-consensual touching. Sexual abuse by persons in authority is a national crisis, and survivors deserve justice. Attorneys for Survivor Justice are investigating civil claims on behalf of abuse survivors. All conversations are confidential, and we can investigate your claim anonymously. If you or a loved one is a survivor of sexual abuse, call the number on your screen or visit abusejustice.com for a free confidential consultation. We are pursuing claims on behalf of survivors against institutions and individuals, including universities, colleges, schools, professors, coaches, and team doctors, churches, businesses or companies, hospitals, and medical professionals. Survivors of sexual abuse deserve justice. If you or a loved one is a survivor of sexual abuse, call the Attorneys for Survivor Justice at the number on your screen or visit abusejustice.com now for a free confidential consultation.
Get the look you want the way you want it at a price you'll love at Room to Room. Select from hundreds of fabrics from quality brands. Choose additional customization options and mix and unique one-of-a-kind pieces we can select. The possibilities are endless only at Room to Room.
Keeping you and your family safe. WTVA 9 News at 5 and 6 p.m.
New this morning, we're tracking a major move to bring down the high cost of insulin.
One of the biggest manufacturers announcing it will drastically reduce the out-of-pocket cost. Kristen Dahlgren has those details.
It's being hailed as a huge win for diabetics. Drug maker Eli Lilly announcing it's cutting the list price of its most commonly prescribed insulin by 70% and capping out-of-pocket costs at $35 a month.
Such a relief. It's a huge, significant step in making this disease manageable.
Anne-Marie Gibson sons both use Eli Lilly insulin for their diabetes. They spoke to NBC News in December as costs in America soared for the life-saving drug.
I'm so angry. It's exhausting.
In January, the Inflation Reduction Act imposed a monthly cap on insulin costs for seniors on Medicare, but millions of younger diabetics were still paying much higher rates. The move comes after years of political and patient pressure.
I think we all have heard enough about insulin affordability. Here in America, we should be able to solve this problem ourselves.
Eli Lilly's cap automatically applies to people with private insurance. Those without coverage will be eligible as long as they sign up for a savings card through the company. But only about 30% of the nation's 8.4 million diabetics who rely on insulin get it from Eli Lilly.
Do you expect to see the other drug makers following suit?
I certainly hope that they do. I think that in general, all of the insulins that the drug manufacturers make should be affordable and accessible.
Today, insulin makers Sanofi and Novo Nordisk pointed to their own savings plans for participants. For mom Anne-Marie Gibson, today is a good start to saving lives.
Rationing insulin gets scary. Some have died.
Knowing her sons now face a future where a vital prescription won't carry such a hefty price. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News.
More of a sunrise for our area, but here in our portion, it seems like wind gusts definitely picking up. When can we expect there?
Over in the Greenville area, as we get started today, not the place for this.
Yeah, those are the storms that are moving kind of across that Mississippi River right now. And that's what we're going to be seeing in the next couple of hours. So as those storms continue to track across, what you're seeing in Greenville, breezy conditions, a lot.
Not coffee? Hashtag still not coffee?
Mucinex DM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion in any type of cough, day or night. Mucinex DM. It's comeback season.
Telling your story. WCBI Sunrise starts now.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us here on Sunrise this Friday. I'm Eric Crosswalk. There's another threat of severe storms today. That's why we've got meteorologist Riley Brown up early with us. Riley, good morning.
Yes, we have a pretty weekend, so we've got to get through it today.
Of thousands without power overnight. Meanwhile, the dig out continues in the mountains of California where desperate snowed-in residents are pleading for help. CBS News' Jared Hill has more.
Severe storms in Texas produced large hail and tornadoes. 70 to 80 mile per hour winds brought down power lines, leaving thousands of Texans in the dark overnight. Strong winds also brought a tree down onto this house in Hearst. The owners are still inside.
They were running. They were like everything. Out the house. Was like boom, 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 everywhere. I didn't know where to run.
The roof of this Dallas County Amazon warehouse partially collapsed on the workers. No injuries were reported. Authorities are now looking at just how bad the damage is.
Once we get some daylight tomorrow, they'll get some more accurate information.
The gas station in Shreveport, Louisiana, now made of metal after a twist ripped through.
It just came up. 20 seconds later, yeah, the wind from the blast right out of the water.
The severe storms slamming the south are from the same weather system that buried mountain communities in California under fierce snow. Miriam McGuire could barely contain her excitement. Her brother-in-law rescued her and her family after they were stuck at a Crestline Airbnb for more than a week.
We're so excited. We're so happy. They'll be back home. They're really nervous. These are the kiddos.
Many others are still trapped at home. San Bernardino Sheriff's deputies loaded up food to take to desperate Snowden residents. The governor has declared a state of emergency for several counties.
A big update on a controversial product we've been telling you about. Mississippi lawmakers have banned what's referred to as gas station heroin. Coastal police call a locksmith if you lock yourself out of your car. As of now, exception. Years ago, Courtney and Jackson spoke with state leaders about wanting to change the trend.
The goal is to fully fund MAEP this year.
I get it. You're not all in politics, and maybe you're saying, what the heck is MAEP? It stands for the Mississippi Adequate Education Program, and that
is the formula that is creating staffers that fund our schools.
Even though it's been part of Mississippi law since 1997, MAEP has only been fully funded twice, in 2003 and 2007.
Let's remember that MAEP, when fully funded under the current formula, is funding for a C-level of education. So we're not talking about an A-level Cal person here. We're talking about your average person, mid-level for a student's educational experience.
But with the Senate Education Chairman Dennis DeVar's comments this week, there's optimism that this year could be different.
Well, MAEP is paying for our transportation, it is paying for the lights on the buildings, it is paying for the utilities. So it provides a backbone and an infrastructure to support our schools. And so reliable funding is extremely important.
Senator DeVar says they're planning to make some changes to the formula that's never been updated.
We're trying to make sure we come forward with a formula that's equitable for all, is updated to meet the current existing state of our economy and so forth.
The Senate hasn't revealed exactly what those changes will include.
To recruit and retain nurses. But she says programs like this help because it gives students a glimpse at what they can.
Yeah, I've had jobs before where my weekend, like 2 days for my weekend work, right next.
This is money.
When you see things differently, you can be the difference. Capella University looks at education differently. Our FlexPath learning format helps you control the pace and cost of your master's degree. Make your difference with Capella University.
Hey travelers, everybody wants cheap airfares, but where can you find them? You call Smart Fares.
Our prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low they're not published anywhere. SmartFare specializes in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rentals, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, SmartFares can help you get there cheaply and with the best price guarantee. If you want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call us right now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these low rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the lowest rates available. So don't wait. Call SmartFare.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one. I've been watching that show.
Oh yeah. So she's got that. She's also got Supernatural, and then we have Tomo Pickett, who's also.
Don't play. The big show gotta be in there. Somebody do. Going up and somebody that make me sick.
So people come together and they meet other people that enjoy the same things that they do. So if you know everything about Supernatural, there's somebody else who's going to know about that same thing you can talk to and
And it can be kind of hard if you've got a really specific interest to meet people who share its passion. That's something that's really cool about Comic-Con. Like you said, you can meet those.
You should. Take a nap. And eat burgers. It's so cute.
Reading is the one fundamental thing you need throughout life. I want to hopefully develop readers earlier and earlier, and so they can flourish later. Getting a larger side of kids and having them.
In case anyone was wondering, the history books were correct. The United States was once a big steaming bowl of crap, just pushing slaves, and everybody thinking they had queen and king power. Today, well, had nothing changed.